We are live here at Four Pines Park over in Brookvale to witness what is going to be a very, very interesting clash. Two teams at either end of the tables come head to head here. The Manly Seagulls defending their fortress, currently on an 18-game winning streak, taking on the Parramatta Eels, who they got their first win last week against the Brisbane Broncos, but they're favourites for the spoon coming into the season. They look to potentially looking to avoid that now, and they want to push on after a very good performance last week. But this is a whole other beast versus the Manly Seagulls. And I am joined here in the commentary box by Jack Carl. Jack, what are you looking forward to about this game?
I'm looking forward to a lot of things in this game. Look, the Eels played really well last week, but as you mentioned earlier, it's a whole different opponent, Manly. They are on an absolutely insane winning streak, and I don't know if Parramatta have the class to match them. I would like to see them put up a bit of fight, but I think Manly are going to win this one 13+.
Yeah, look, it's going to be hard for the Eels to sort of do anything here. This Manly team, they've got such great line speed. They're always up in your faces there. And you some of these Eels players, they're quite young, this Eels team. The youngest team in the competition. It is going to be... It's going to show the Eels where they're at. And if it's as thrashing, then that's going to be really heartbreaking for them. But it will be what it is. As the Manly Seagulls get first use of the ball, already up towards the 50. So far defending pretty well here as KCK gets up past the 50. Decent first set by Manly. The Eels, you know, they did alright, all things considering Manly can go 60 to 70 metres per set to begin the game.
Yeah, well, it's a great return from Harris as well. And that's a pretty decent start from the Eels to the game there. I'm sure they won't be too upset about that. And Luke Short straight up the middle. This is good stuff from the Eels.
They're already venturing inside the Manly Seagulls half here, which is good signs. There's a beautiful ball over to Xavier Armando. They're already in space. Third tackle, we're only 28 metres out now. This is a brilliant start from the Eels. As it goes there, it's going to be Anthony McDonald, the little front rower. One of the smaller front rowers in the comp, but he takes it up there on the 20-metre line. Seamus Wilson, the rookie from last week, that debuted in fact, scoring a double. So goes Cherry Evans now, puts it high. That's a good kick there. It's a great kick in fact, taken there by Dingo though. And Manly take it there. But that was a very good start there by the Eels.
I'll tell you what, just a little bit of confidence. They're playing with so much more speed. They look confident. They're a young side. In previous weeks, they looked down and out of it. But they've smashed the Broncos, and now they're just playing with a little bit more freedom. And they're looking good so far. But they need to stay in. They need to stay in the fight. They need to keep up this pace, because if you give Manly any chances, they're going to punish you for it.
Yeah, look, it's only 4 and a bit minutes into the contest here. Definitely, you know, we've seen teams keep it with Manly for like 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes before. But in this 18-game winning streak, I don't think there's really any team that's been able to... Obviously, there's no team that's been able to go to the medal with them for 80 minutes. As their winning streak hasn't been broken. As it goes down, a good kick there down to Demando. It's taken there on a good tackle there. A good kick chase by Manly. They're pretty good at doing that generally. Yeah, as Anthony McDonald, that's another good run there. He's had a great start to this game. He's been switching between starting and bench for most of the season. He's back starting here today. As it's now going to be Alistair Russell to get up past the 50. You know, the Eels, no one really gives them a chance at all. What do you just want to see from the Eels today as an area that's nothing you don't want to see?
Yeah, well, I just said I think that I just want to see them go with it and not give Manly a chance. But that is just, they were in really good field position there. That play was starting to look good, and Shannon Freeburn will be absolutely gutted that he dropped that. And Manly straight back on the attack.
As Lennox Prakash plays it there, 16 metres off the line. They go short side here. Over to Joey Kelly, looking for some space. He's going to be wrapped up there on the 10-metre line. Third tackle now. Matthew Vaughan gives it over there. Kyle Lewis is going to be the push forward. He's pushing forward. In fact, he's going to be just short of the line. Yes, he is. As Chaz Dingo out of dummy half, and he'll get over for the Manly Seagulls' first try of the day.
Oh, wow. It's disappointing for the Eels. They had so much ball. They looked so good. But like I said, one little knock on. Manly are too good for that. And Chaz Dingo just takes the ball out of dummy half and a essentially falls over the line.
Yeah, look, Chaz Dingo, that's a bit disappointing there from the Eels. Dingo just seeing some space. Luke Short was pretty much isolated there on his own island, and well, Dingo is a little bit of a nippy player. He can sort of just, he's a little strength to him. Luke Short, you probably expect would win that battle, but this is a lot of will to sort of get over the line there, and well, he knows how to score tries, and he scores the first one here for the Manly Sea Eagles.
I'm a little bit worried about what that does to the Eels now. I feel like they're playing with very high confidence. I feel that might have just taken a little shot there. And I wonder if that was all Manly needed. They've looked a little bit shaky to start in these opening 8 minutes. I wonder if that's all they needed to kind of click them into gear.
Yeah, I have to agree there. They looked a bit, as you mentioned, we're used to seeing Manly go 60, 70 metres in a set. The first set only went 50 metres, and their set after that went about the same. Nothing to scoff at. There's plenty of teams that only go that per set, but for Manly, we would have expected a little bit more. But an error there from the Eels. Pressure on Shannon Freeman forced the error, and just like that, Manly Sea Eagles get the opening try now. It's going to be how the Eels respond now. They cannot let Manly get on a roll, otherwise this could turn ugly.
Could turn very ugly. It could turn 50 points ugly.
Yeah, we don't want to see that as Brad Goodwin with an offload there. Gets it to Bennett, his front row partner there. Tackled there, fourth tackle on the 40 now. It's going to go back there. Matthew Vaughan it is. That's a good kick. His first game in a 5'8 jumper. He looks for a 40-20. Is it going to get there? It's not. The unluckiest of bout from Matthew Vaughan. He looked like he might have got his first 40-20 of his career in his first game in the halves.
Bro, that was an insanely good kick. But the bounce, it was not on his side. And
that was a criminal bounce.
Able to wrap it up. Blake Harris will be very happy with that. Would have been sweating for that one to bounce.
The ball landed, like, I want to say, less than 5 meters away from the sideline there. It just bounced on a point and just sat up for him. The unluckiest of bounces there from Matthew Vaughan. The Eels got lucky there. If that was a 40-20, that would have been...
They were in trouble, yeah.
Not great, as Malachi Booth, one of the players contending for that rookie of the year, alongside Blake Harris. What do you expect to see from him today, Jack, as Chaz Dingo makes a run there?
Malachi Booth or Blake Harris?
Malachi Booth. Oh, I guess both of them, to be honest. Sort of runs for both of them.
Well, Malachi, I just expect him to do his job. Manly are a very structured team. They just do their jobs and they do it well. And for Blake Harris, he's got to have an amazing game for the Eels to win. He needs to be involved, super involved, get his hand on every ball. He's looking like their best player at the moment.
I have to agree, and that's pretty good praises considering it is his first season. It's going to be Matt Harris there to kick. He kicks it into the back of his own player. It's not something we see Manly do very often. And the Eels are now going to get the ball. And, well, the Eels are going to have a little bit of field possession now.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that. They were just looking like they were getting on the back foot. Perhaps this puts them back on the front. I would like to see them do something in this set. Maybe throw an attacking kick up. Maybe a grubber kick. Just test Manly's defensive line out. Because so far they haven't thrown too much at them.
As Alistair Russell, big tackle there by, I believe that was Brad Goodwin there. As they go short side over here. Thomas Mendonca, he's looking dangerous. Playing in the centres today. Bit of an interesting decision. I would have kept them on the wing, to be honest, but they've moved them into the centres. They go short there to Blake Harris. Straight up the middle, and he'll score for the Eels. And the Eels are going to tie things up, assuming they get this kick.
Well, I said how important Blake Harris was to get involved in this game for the Parramatta Eels to win. He takes a hit up, he steps two, and he absolutely blazes his way to the line. To be honest, he's my rookie of the year, and that just shows why he has been carrying this Parramatta team to whatever little success they've had this season.
That's his fourth try in just his past 2 games. Obviously scoring a hat-trick last season. I believe it is his 5th try of his career, Blake Harris. 5 tries in his debut season. That's something to be happy about. But, Manly, that all this territory, Eels haven't really had a good set like that inside their territory. And they're getting a chance, Parramatta. And Blake Harris kind of made some of Manly's forwards look a little bit silly there. Brad Goodwin was in all sorts.
Yeah, it was just absolutely bamboozling. Harris did it with ease, and you don't see that happen to Manly often.
Yeah, look, Blake Harris is such an interesting player to me because when he first came into the club, I sort of thought he was more of a playmaker type player. You know, someone that would, have a really good passing and kicking game, but not really have much footwork. But since he's moved to fullback, his footwork and speed has really surprised me actually.
Oh, he's looked really good. His transition to fullback has been an absolute revelation for the Eels. It's really surprised me, to be honest, and I think he's got a home at fullback for years to come,
Yeah, look,
seasons to come.
yeah, I have to agree with you there. I think the Eels have to try everything to keep that man there. If he stays there, he could potentially be a future MVP winner. He's just playing
Yeah,
that good at the moment.
yeah, I would agree with that.
As Joey Kelly takes a good catch there, and Manly will start to set inside the Eels territory. Another intercept here. Alistair Russell is pinching it out. And now once
Wow.
again, Eels are going to have another opportunity here. Go short side here, centre dag. Short there to Shannon Freeman. Look towards the line. He's going to be tackled just short. A brilliant tackle
Surely he
there.
got that to the line.
I thought it was just short, but the ref, I'm surprised the ref didn't take it upstairs there. Marshall places it there, Crimp. Short ball there to Butler. Butler takes on the line, and he's over. Butler's going to score, and the Eels are going to go pretty much back to back and take the lead in this game.
Holy, the Eels, they've taken the lead. I'm checking the put down, but I don't think there's any problem with it. Butler too strong against Matthew Vaughan, I think that is, or maybe Carl Lewis. I'm not 100% sure there. But yeah, just pushes his way over, and the Eels, they're in the front, Lachlan. The Eels have taken the lead.
This is just absolutely insanity. After Chaz Digger scored that first try, I thought, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. And just like that, they just needed a sniff. And suddenly, the Eels have scored 2 tries in about 5 minutes. This is just
Yeah.
absolutely insanity. Manly, they look shocked. They look absolutely shocked that the Eels have done this to them. 2 opportunities, and the Eels have scored within a couple plays.
Absolutely insane. I definitely did not expect the Eels to do this. They have looked really good in this game so far. Like, they haven't just been handed the game so far. It's not like Manly have been making a ton of errors. I think Parramatta have just looked good. Obviously, that last one coming off the intercept. But other than that, Parramatta have just looked to match them. They've just come out with an energy. They've come out with intent, and they're matching the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, look, it's actually just, I'm shocked because, although, as you said, as the
Oh.
intercept, that might hurt them there, but, the Eels, they have had the errors that Manly have had, both of them have led to tries. That's about it. They've just scored with limited opportunities, the Eels. As it's now going to be interesting to see how they defend here. This could be a telling moment in the game here as Will Kay pushes forward. Manly Sea Eagles would love to get a try back here as it goes Matt Harris. He takes the hit up there. Tackled there by Luke Short, and I believe that's Alistair Russell there. 4th tackle now. Goes Matthew Vaughan. Short ball there to Dingle. A brilliant tackle there on the star fullback. He'll play it there. 5 meters off the line. It goes back to Vaughan. He puts in a kick, and they're going to call it a knock on there from the Eels. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I think that the Sea Eagles have got lucky there.
I'd have to agree with you there. I thought personally he just dropped it cold there, and, well, Luke Shaw dived onto it. We're going to say that it came off a hand as it goes intercept, but that's going to be another intercept as Jordan Marshall streaks way upfield. And the Eels survive. That was good defense.
Yeah, that was good defense from the Eels. Like I said, they're just playing pretty well. Not many teams survive 2 sets defending Manly. The Eels did well there, and an intercept, and they're already into Manly's half.
Yeah, 3rd tackle now, about 45 meters away from the line. The Eels, they're just playing with intent at the moment. They're playing with confidence. I don't think I've seen this from the Eels all season. Even last week against the Broncos, I don't think they were playing with this much confidence.
Yeah, I've got to agree. They just look really good. As Seamus Wilson, with a poor knock on there, that will hurt. They probably had the good chance there to put some points on the board again. But Wilson, the young gun, just getting a little bit jittery, dropping the ball. You should have caught that one, Seamus. He'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, I think you will. You know, the Eels, they just know they can't give Manly any opportunities. That's the second error in the since they've scored their last try. They need to keep that out if they want to stay in this game. We know how strong this Manly team is and how easily they can, you know, just put points on the board as Matthew Vaughan is going to be pushing forward. That's the fourth tackle now. Let's go long ball over. They spread it out. Oh, well, Kay should have taken it on the line there, but he gives it to Dingo instead. And again, only 28 meters gave to that set. The Eels are played with light speed too. As it's going to be Will Kay to kick it down there to Michael Crimp. We know how dangerous he is. He's in the space. He's in the space. I think he's going to get caught, but no, he gets up into the Eels territory on the 40. He plays it there. They go short side here to Butler. A lot of the defenders are offside. Casey K wraps him up. They're into space again. It's going to be Shannon Freeburn now. Takes on the line. He'll get tackled. They're about 17 meters away from the line here now. Third tackle. Goes to Butler. Over to Evans. He's happy to take the tackle there. Had Manly defenders all around him. And the Eels, they continue to attack him, mate. Let's see what they can do. Seamus Wilson it is now. There's space out there. He just takes the tackle. Fifth tackle now. Who's it going to be? It looks to go to... I think that's Evans there. It does. A bomb is put up. A good kick that is. Tapped back. Oh, and there's no one back there. I don't think he's being caught there, Kyle Lewis. He's over to 50. Over to 40. 30 meters out now. Shut the gate. He's just too quick there, Kyle Lewis. And that's going to be heartbreaking for the Eels.
That absolutely stings for the Eels. I'm pretty sure it was Blake Harris who tapped it back. That's a rookie mistake. He needs to be back there to get it. That's the #1 rule of the SRL on those tapbacks. The fullback scores quite often, but he just taps it back, and we see that a little bit in the SRL, where a player retrieves that little tap back and goes the length of the field to score. And a player of Kyle Lewis's speed, ain't nobody catching him.
Yeah, he's quite a quick player, Kyle Lewis, and, you know, we've talked about this. This has been quite often in the media about the Eels. They're not a very fast team. Fastest speed they have in the entire team is Michael Crip, which is only an 88. I believe Kyle Lewis by himself is faster than that, so once he was in space, there was little to no hope of catching him. And, well, he ran the distance there. That's going to be heartbreaking from the Eels. We saw them respond pretty well last time. Let's see how they do it now. They've been playing really well, the Eels. They're definitely on top of. They can just... If that might just be the thing that turns Manly into second gear, though.
That speed thing is actually quite interesting because most of the Manly team is quicker than that. Obviously, they've got 16 out of 17 players with max speed. Some of them are max speed at 80, some of them max speed at 85, but a lot of them are max speed in the 90s. So it didn't really matter who picked that ball up. They were always going to run away with it. Manly was an incredibly quick team, and compared to the Eels, they would win every single time.
Yeah, look, it's disappointing there. And you look back at the bounce of the ball. If we talked about this earlier, but Matthew Vaughan, he nearly kicked the 40-20 earlier as he goes for another one here. A bounce of the ball. That bounce of the ball might look back at the moment it changed the Eels. We'll have to see how they go from here as Blake Harris. That's a good step there. He's so deceiving, Blake Harris. He just managed to break the line so often at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's incredibly good. I think a few clubs are eyeing off Blake Harris. He's going to be an absolute gun in the future. I think he's got a really big future in the SRL, especially at fullback.
And Blake Harris is now into space again. Sorry to cut you off there, Jack. Please continue.
He's been a whole new revelation for this Eels side. They want to lock him down, and they want to lock him down quickly.
Have to agree, whereas Eels once again, they're inside Manly's territory with pretty much ease for a couple good runs from the likes of Seamus Wilson and Blake Harris. They're inside Manly 20 again. Let's hope this time the set will end better. This goes there to Cherry Evans. No one wants a bar of it. No one wants a bar of it as Alistair Russell catches it, but he'll be wrapped up.
What was that from the Seagulls? They didn't take it. Why? What was happening? Manly don't usually make those kind of mistakes. What was that?
Malachi Booth just let it sit there in the air. He wasn't sure, and Alistair Russell comes down with it. Luckily, Malachi Booth was there to get under the ball, but if Alistair Russell, he just had to fall over the line and he could have got there. I think he did. Manly got very lucky there. You know, if that was someone potentially bigger, I think it would have been quite easily for them to ground it.
Yeah.
As Manly played their fourth tackle on the 50. Manly, do you think they've got a bit complacent today, Manly? They just don't seem like they're on their game.
Yeah, well, perhaps that's the issue, but honestly, I'm not really sure because they don't look like Manly at the moment. Obviously, Para have been good, but they don't look like Manly at the moment, and I think they're begging for the halftime. Well, maybe not begging for it, but they want halftime to come quickly so they can get their stuff together.
Yeah, I have to agree. You know, at the moment, they're not doing, they can't really do much. Eels are making meters so easily. It's not something we've seen from Manly to be this passive on defense like this. As Charlie Butler now pushes forward. Gets up towards the 50. He's had a really good game so far. Obviously scoring that try earlier. So now Matt Downey pushes up towards the 40. That's going to be fifth tackle now. It's still 12-all from Manly. You know, they're definitely not out of it yet. And, they have Raiders next week, so they've got to get their stuff in order. Because I reckon if they're versing the Raiders right now, they'd probably be down by about 18. Even that, the Eels have just been good.
No, I agree with that statement. I think that's a great call. They just don't look quite on. I think that going into a Raiders game, though, obviously they know how good the Raiders are going to be. I think that their preparation will be better. I do think that they're just being a little bit complacent at the moment.
Complacency can sometimes lead to a few losses, though. They don't want to cough up that because that could cause, you know. Obviously, I can't see them dropping out top 2, which is really the area you need to get into in this comp. But it might cost them a premiership or even a winning streak if they're not careful here. It's still 12-all, though. So it's still definitely anyone's game as it goes down there to Michael Crimp. He's dangerous here. Gets past a couple. Takes on Dingo, but Dingo wraps him up with ease. That'll be the first tackle. There's still 5 minutes to go to halftime. Goes down to Matt Downey. He's straight through the middle. Gets an offload, in fact, to Alistair Russell. Second tackle, sorry. Long pass over to Seamus Wilson. That's the third tackle now. Looking to go for a short side play, it seems. Here they do. Long pass over. It's going to be Thomas Mendonca who's taken down there. He made... Again, Malachi Booth was made to look silly there. It's going to be Blake Harris now. Straight up the middle there. That's a good run from Blake Harris. And they'll get a good attacking kick down just from a good run from Blake Harris once again. Fifth tackle. Goes to Cherry Evans. Puts it through. A kick there from Charlie Butler looking for a double and he's just short of the line.
Oh, that is disappointing for Butler. He was inches from the line. Manly just wrapping him up. That's a great kick there from Cherry Evans. The Eels. Well, you mentioned it earlier that teams are able to go 40, maybe 50 minutes with Manly. Do you see the Eels continuing?
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, 40 to 50 minutes is how long new teams usually can last, depending on the game. Sometimes in the forms of, you know, Preseason Broncos. They don't even last that. So far, Eels have lasted at least 40 minutes. It's going to be interesting how their fitness go down. They're not the most fit team. They've suffered a few injuries in recent times. It'll be interesting to see how their fitness holds up in the second half. That's what could destroy their game. As we have... Will Kay is going to be the one to punt it back. It's a poor kick there.
Poor kick.
Cherry Evans gets hand of it again. I don't remember the last time I've seen Will Kay make a kick like that.
Yeah, that is very out of character for Will Kay. Just handing the Eels the last shot to put some points on the board. I would love it if they could go into the break leading. They'll have a few plays here, probably under the set.
I would have to agree there. If the Eels can get points here, that'd be massive here as Alistair Russell pushes forward. 40 seconds to half-time. They'll get the last two plays here. Butler, over to Blake Harris. Gives it to Michael Crimp. We know how dangerous he can be. That's the fifth tackle. Wrapped up well there by Matthew Vaughan and KCK it is. Fifth tackle. This will be the last play of the half. It's going to be a good kick. That's a great kick there, but I don't think it's going to have no chases as Luke Shaw puts a massive kick shot onto the end of the first half. As we're going to go to the break. 12-all at 4 Points Park. Will Kay getting the ball back on the tee for what is going to be an interesting second half. Manly, it's only 12-all in this game. That was a very, very interesting, as I like to use that word quite often. First half. Jack, what did you think of it?
Oh, I'm very impressed with the Eels. I'm very impressed with the players like Blake Harris. I think Butler had a good game. A good first half, rather. I'm a little bit worried, though. Obviously, we see it quite often where teams will just kind of fall off in the second half. The Warriors did it last week against the Raiders, and it's usually due to the interchanges. I'm not sure how the Eels have set their interchanges up just quite yet, but it's a vital part of the game, and we know how good Manly are at it. I'm a little bit worried to see what happens to the Eels in the second half.
As Samuel Atchison will play it there. In fact, it goes Butler. Decent kick down, looking for Malachi Booth. That's a dangerous play to kick returner, but a good tackle made there. It's a very good tackle, in fact. This will be first down. Matt Harris with a run. That's a good run, and Manly there once again, but a knock on from Matt Harris. That's going to be big now.
If the Eels can put points on the board here, they might have just jump-started their second half really well.
As Xavier Namanda will play it there. 30 metres out from the line. It's going to go long pass over to Barisic. Pushing up there. That's the second tackle. Inside ball there to Blake Harris. Looking for another try. KCK wraps him up and he's going to be on his back.
God, this kid's good. He's good for the fact that KCK is an amazing defender. To stop the try against most teams, I dare say that would have been a certain try. But KCK able to wrap him up. I'll tell you what, Blake Harris, I've praised him enough already, but he is so good.
Fifth tackle now. Good kick here. Could potentially see something big happen. A rubber kick through. Picked up by Cherry Evans. And the Eels are in front. The Eels are in front after 43 minutes.
Wow. This is an absolute blockbuster. We could see an upset here. The more this game goes on, the more I'm feeling confident the Eels could win this. If the Eels do win this, I mean, it's certainly not impossible, but I think it cements the Broncos for the spoon. Obviously, they could win their last two games by big margins, but I don't see that happening. The Eels, they are doing something really good here.
It's just amazing to watch. Charlie Butler, he's had an insane game. Set up a try. He scored a try earlier. Cherry Evans has been running really well. I think some of their forwards. I think Anthony McDonald's been playing really well. Justin Barisic, Seamus Wilson, Attila Senendag. They're all just standing up right now to something we haven't seen all season from the Eels. Just a little bit of confidence.
I have a question for you, Lachlan.
Yes.
Can the Eels make the finals?
I think it's interesting because I think there is a genuine possibility. Not genuine, but I think there is a very small possibility they can make finals if a bunch of results go their way. The most unlikely of finals games could occur.
Well, I mean, if they keep playing like this, they got the Cowboys next week. You got to say the Cowboys are a step down from Manly. Still a good team, so they'll need to play well. But they are looking good. If they can keep this up, it would be insane if they made the finals.
As Senendag will play it there, just short the 40 there. Another good set off the points. I talk about it quite often, but sometimes sets off the points are the most important sets of the game. As Blake Harris is going to play it there. It's going to be a kick crossfield there from Butler. Fielded there by Ethan Goodwin. And he'll play it there on the 30. I'm checking Manly's stats. I'm checking Manly's stats happened. Things happened. Okay, it did happen. That was just me, because I don't want, people coming at me. Yeah. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
There's a little bit of a wonky kick there, but I actually don't mind it. It takes the winger out of play. We know how dangerous Malachi Booth can be, and he's been quiet tonight. I think they've deliberately kind of gone around him quickly.
Yeah, and even when he has got some ball, I would say that they've actually done a pretty good job of containing him, Malachi Booth. He's had a couple kick returns and just managed to tackle him down pretty easily. Although sometimes, kicking maybe a bit shorter so the center is forced to make a play, it isn't a bad idea considering, the wingers the Manly Seagulls do have in Joey Kelly and Malachi Booth, as Will Kay's going to punt it down. Fielded by Demando. He steps one. This is dangerous. Demando's away. Over the 50. He might get caught. Over the 30. 20. And Manly are going to be down by 2 tries against the Parramatta Eels.
Wow, Demando. That is an insane try. And that will get the Eels probably two converted tries ahead of Manly. What are we watching, Lachlan? What are we watching?
Did we go to another planiverse or a paradox or something along those lines? What parallel universe are we living in right now? When the Eels are in front of Manly Seagulls by 2 tries. I'm struggling to keep it together, Jack. This is just insane.
I'm shell-shocked, to be honest. I joked about it off air before the game that we could see a Parramatta smashing. It's certainly not out of the question now.
And we talked about the dangers of the Manly wingers, and although this may not directly be a commentary curse, the very next kick we see a dangerous Parramatta winger make the Manly Seagulls look silly.
Yeah.
As Will Kay's going to look to kick back off now, but 24 points to 12. This is something I did not expect. 2 tries to begin this second half too. The Eels don't look like they're going to close off anytime soon. It's going to be a long pass over there to Justin Barisic to take hit up there. I don't know what... The Eels are just... I don't think it's not even just the Manly playing bad anymore. It's just Eels are playing pretty well.
I've got to agree with that. We worried about that they would kind of peel off in the second half. They've done the complete opposite. They've ramped it up.
They've already doubled their score they put on in the first half. And there's still 30 minutes to go. Now, we do have to keep in mind, there's still 30 minutes to go. You know, it's definitely... Manly can definitely still get back into this. They definitely have the skill power to put a comeback here. But the Parramatta Eels, they've played footy I have not seen for a very long time. Not since season 1 I've seen them play this good. But oh no, this is bad. Malachi Booth is away. And I guess this is just commentary curse coming full circle now. Malachi Booth is going to run away. And that's another runaway try from the Manly Seagulls. And, well, that's gonna dent the Eels' hope of potentially smashing. But they needed that, Manly. They desperately needed that.
They did. And we mentioned that Malachi Booth has been pretty quiet tonight. But he's come out when he's most needed. And he's scored a try to keep Manly in this game. And it certainly makes their conquest for a comeback still definitely on the cards.
Yeah, look, man, Malachi Booth sort of looked at Xavier Demond and said, whatever you can do, I can do better. And he got to put on a little footwork there and managed to go straight through the line. And he's now scored to try to keep Manly in the game. 24 points to 18. But the Eels have this K on it now. This is another try we've had. We keep saying, oh, the Eels can't let go now, but they haven't let go now. I get the feeling that this time they're still not going to let go. You know, we talked about, oh, this might dip their confidence. Let's hope it doesn't, and I don't think it's going to this time. They've proved us wrong.
I don't think it will dent their confidence. I think they'll continue to push on. They'll continue to play well. I think another try, it might throw a spanner in the works for the Eels, but so far, they've proved us all wrong, and they're looking pretty good.
And that's a run Manly needed. Matt Harris with a big hit up there. It goes Daniel Punch. It isn't another big run. These forwards are aiming it up at the moment as he played their second tackle. And an intercept there for Charlie Butler.
Oh, no.
That's going to be massive there. Another error made off the kickoff there for Manly. And this is big as it goes short side. He's Sennadag. Short ball there to Shannon Freeman. It's through the line. I think there might have been Michael Crimp on the outside, but KZK comes around to make a massive tackle. Second tackle now. Goes Charlie Butler. Short ball there. Attila Sennadag looking for a try. That's going to be the third tackle now. He gets held up. Let's go short ball there. Barisic looking to crash his way over. Fourth tackle now.
Over.
Long ball over. Seamus Wilson looking for a try and he's on his back. And that'll be fifth tackle. We're going to go upstairs here. Referee Ashley Klein wants to have another look at it. I don't know exactly what to look at. I thought he was on his back there, but I think that's pretty clear no try.
Red lights.
Yeah, I don't know what he was looking at there, but that's going to be fifth tackle now. Let's see what they can do here. That's a poor end to the set, and that's going to put off a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, that's disappointing from the Eels. They certainly would have wanted to put a bit more, throw a bit more at Manly, but unable to. They make the error at the end of the set.
Yeah, I have to agree with it. It's Daniel Punch with a good run there. Goes over. It's going to be Lennox Prakash. Gets up through the line. He'll be taken down there. Goes Vaughan. They're looking for an outside inside play to KCK. He gets it. But he'll be caught there. Just past the 40. Third tackle. Long pass over. It's going to be Lennox Prakash. This is a brilliant set by the Seagulls. And this is what was sort of come to expect. They've gone about 70 metres. They'll go about 80 by the end of it. Says 64 up there. I feel like that is wrong considering that the kick was made on the 10. But it's going to be Vaughan there to put it high. They need to get their irons tapped back. KCK's in. And that's not good for the Eels. And the KCK goes under the upright. Or just next to it. And well, Manly will now kick to make it 24-all.
Yeah, well, we saw earlier that the Eels did a similar play. KCK, though, he's too experienced to not be back there. And they score that with relative ease. I think that them being down by 12 has given them a little kick in the butt and maybe woken them up a bit. They've looked like the regular Manly since then. And it's going to be 24-all.
And, well, that was just the sets we come to expect from Manly. You know, they've done this so often before. They'll make an error, defend the set, and then pretty much go 100 metres in the set and score a try. And, well, KCK is just like... He's just so deceiving, similar to, you know, Blake Harris. You never know which way he's going to go in that time. He just ran straight up the middle off the tap back. And, well, he's very big, KCK, and you weren't going to stop him from that close. Charlie Butler's the man to kick off. 24-all it is. This is getting me excited now. We could see our first golden point game this season. We haven't seen one yet. We got close in the last game we had where obviously the Raiders and Warriors went down to the wire. That was the closest game we probably had all season to go into golden point. As Jesse Bennett plays it there. Goes to Matt Harris. Gets an offload. Matthew Vaughan receives it, but he gets pushed back. Third tackle. Goes short there. Hayden Mellert. Fourth tackle. This has been a good defensive set from them. And that's not a great kick there, in fact. It's going to go over the sideline there. He was happy to let that go. Get a bit of a breather here. But, they were very good defensively once again there, the Eels, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. And certainly didn't help the key. Come off the side of the boot there. Barely went 20 metres. And that'll be disappointing for Manly. I said they looked to their regular self. That K has looked very irregular tonight. His kicking has not been great. And we don't usually see that from Will K.
Yeah, I sort of think the Eels sort of, Seamus Wilson, has put a lot of pressure on Will K tonight. You know, he's definitely running at him a lot. As Blake Harris actually runs at him once again. He's definitely been off his game tonight. Maybe it was a plan of the Eels here as Matt Downey pushes up the middle. Third tackle for 25 metres out. Though he should be in position for an attack and kick this set. As Samuel Atchison, he looked dangerous there. Gap opened up, but it was quickly closed there. So they go fourth tackle. Long pass over to Seamus Wilson. Fifth tackle. What's the plan here? And it's going to be another error there from Charlie Butler. And that's poor.
Very disappointing that set. Or that end set, sorry. Honestly, the Eels, they really could have done something there. They had great field position. Butler just gets rushed up on. He should have just held the ball and tried to push his way over. He's pretty strong. He didn't have too much distance to go. Oh, forward pass.
That's
big.
No. That is big. That's, in fact, massive, I'd say. This is going to be big here. If the Eels can put points on here, it just shows us they're not giving up. They're going to go over 80 minutes here. That's the feeling I'm getting. Blake Harris up middle. Matt Harris is by himself, but he gets some help there, and he's going to be held up. The ref wants to take another look at it once again. I don't think there's much to look at here.
Well, Harris on Harris. Great tackle there from Matty Harris because Blake Harris looked like he was going over for all money. Just kind of paired through that defensive line.
A second tackle now. We're going to go short side here. Goes to Seamus Wilson. Is that a knock on? No. And they've caught it offside.
That's so disappointing. That is so disappointing. The Eels, they've had 2 chances now in the last 3 sets. Both times it's ended in errors. And that one just gives Manly more field possession as well. They'll be starting this set just past the 30-metre line. And we know Manly can make meters quickly, so They might be on the attack in no time.
Yeah, look, I think the Eels have had... They're sort of like still lacking that like class, that like sort of finishing touch, I guess, to some of their players and sets. You know, again, that was a very nice play there. They had a good play at the back, but Seamus Wilson, I think it was, sort of didn't run the right block line, got in the way, and unfortunately went from him into Charlie Butler, I think it was, resulting in a penalty.
Yeah.
As they spread it over here, Kay over to Goodwin. Good defense on him. Only 23 metres gained in a set, so another good defensive set there by the Eels. This goes back there. It's going to be Will Kay. As charged down there.
God, Kay.
And once again, Will Kay's kicking. What's going on with him?
I don't know, but that was straight to him. That was I hardly think that was a charge down. I think that was more of a just, it landed in Cherry Evans' lap and he caught it. What is going on with Kay's kicking tonight? He's going to need to get that sorted pretty quickly. Manly can't kick like that against the Raiders.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think we talked about, like, at the beginning of the game when Kay had his first shocking kick, we sort of said, you know, oh, we don't really see that from Will Kay. I don't remember the last time we've seen it. We've seen it 3 times this game. This is just... Manly, they're just off their game at the moment. I don't know what it is. It's Cherry Evans now. Had a bit of a gap. A good tackle there by the man of the moment, Will Kay. He'll play it there. 5th tackle now. And another error there. And this is just... They're having the opportunities, but they just can't finish it off. And it's going to be worried that if Manly have another sniff, they'll take it with ease.
Yeah, well, you don't see Manly make those kind of errors in their 20 that often. I mean, if Manly get a chance down the other end of the field, they might just put points on immediately. Whereas the Eels, they could be like 36 points at the moment, possibly even 42 with the chances that they've had.
This goes Malachi Booth. That's a good run. That's a run he needs against Miles Blake Harris. Malachi Booth's going to go the distance. And just like that, Manly going to hit the fronts for the first time since like the 7th minute or something.
Well, I just finished saying that as soon as they get down into field position, they might score. They didn't even get to field position there. Malachi Booth just put on a little step and weaved his way through their defensive line. And Manly hit the front. Eels will be very disappointed with that. Very disappointed.
I don't have much else to say. The Eels, they had a lot of possession, but they just weren't able to finish it off like they were doing in the other parts of this game. You know, Charlie Butler, he had a really good start to the game. Hasn't been able to put kicks through recently. Samuel Atkinson tried, and he also spilled it. And just like that, Manly, they hit the lead. They haven't had this since the very early parts of the game. I don't think it was done just yet, though. They've definitely still... If they can keep this energy up, they can definitely still fight back into this game.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for the Eels. I mean, they've had their chances. They haven't really done too well. That might hurt their confidence yet again. I think Manly run away with it. I think the minute mark is 64 for when the Eels give up. I should be giving Para a bit more hope since they've proven us wrong multiple times today, but I just think this is where Manly kind of take the game away.
I will bring your attention back to when Dingo first scored. We thought that was going to be right. This is going to be 50-0 or something. But 2 tries later and we're proven wrong pretty quickly. You know, 1 try gets the Eels back, get tied back up. Question is, can they get that one last try? As Hayden Mellett brings it up to the 40. 4th tackle. Goes to K, and he kicks it into his own teammate.
Okay. I take back my previous statement. That might just be what they needed. I wasn't accounting for Will Kay's poor kicking game. He really needs to fix himself up.
I don't understand what's happening. I have never seen this from him. For his entire career, even at the Cowboys, I don't think he was this bad when he had his debut season. See what happens now. They go short side here. Gives it there to Shannon Freeburn. Runs it up there. 2nd tackle now. Blake Harris it is. He's dangerous. Gets it offload, in fact. The Cherry Evans pushing forward. That's going to be held up. 3rd tackle now. And it's going to be... He should have held on to it.
Oh, he could have gone
Gives
over himself.
Short to Luke Short.
Oh, no. Butler. He could have gone himself. I think he was over there.
Good defense there to keep the big fella up. It's going to be a no try. 4th tackle now. Long ball over to Seamus Wilson. He'll take a settler there. 5th tackle
Need
now.
a good intercept here.
That's a good kick. A great kick, in fact. And Malachi Boothie does well there, though. That was a good catch.
Yeah, it was. I think that kick was a bit too deep for my liking. We'd like to see it bring a meter or two forward. But Malachi Booth, absolute class to catch that ball. Ever since we said he'd had a quiet night, he's looked pretty good since. He's just shown up when he's needed to. And he's done pretty well. He's been a pretty big instrument in this.
As Marva Goldfoot runs the distance, and that might just lock up the game for the Manly Sea Eagles. Too much pace there. And unfortunately for the Eels, they've looked good, but just not good enough.
That was something from absolutely nothing. I did not expect that at all. I think that just proves the whole speed thing. The Sea Eagles, they're just a really quick side, and the Eels, they can't match it with them. The Eels will be disheartened to lose this game, but they've got some positives to take away. Going 65 minutes with Manly is a pretty big accomplishment.
I have to agree here, especially when you consider like what people were thinking coming into this game, you know. People were saying, including myself, saying that it should be a smashing. And they've lasted 65 minutes, 64 minutes. They've lasted a decent while with the Manly Sea Eagles, and I think I have to hand it to them. They've played well tonight. Probably deserves to be a little bit closer, but Manly just have that class. And I think it shows that Manly are just able to finish off when they need it. And I think the speed thing is going to improve more, because their last 2 tries are kind of nothing from just players just being Blake Harris back on the inside, just based on speed alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we said it before. We said it that it was going to be 50-0. I think that if you're the Eels, you'd be pretty happy with this performance. But maybe a little bit disappointed that you couldn't get the job done. Because I definitely think they had the opportunity to win this game.
Look, I will point out that there is still 10 minutes left. You know, they did score 2 tries in 6 minutes before. The question is, can they do it now? After what's just happened in the last couple of minutes. It'd be quite a big feat if they were to bring themselves back into this game. 4th tackle now. Goes Matthew Vaughan. Let's hope he's kicking this time. Don't want any more mistakes made by Will Kay. As that's the 5th tackle now. And in fact, it is going to be him to kick it. And that's a better kick there. Fielded there by Michael Crimp. So he looks dangerous once again. But he'll be caught there. That's the 1st tackle. As it's going to be McDonald there to play it there. Anthony McDonald, in fact. It's going to be Cherry Evans up the middle. He gets caught there, though.
Oh. He looked close to finding some space there.
Yes, it's going to be Seamus Wilson now, in fact. Will Kay makes another good tackle on him. 4th tackle. Goes short side here. Long pass over. Thomas Mendonca, but he's taken over the sideline there. It was a good play there, but I think he ran too much of a diagonal line there, Mendonca. He should have tried to run sort of intimate Malachi Booth to stay in the field of play. And I think that just about does the Eels here tonight. They've definitely looked very strong. And I don't know who they're versing next week, but I think I'll give them a chance no matter who it is. They're versing the Cowboys, that's right. I think I'll give them a chance next week. You know, they've looked very strong tonight. And I think that they can definitely prove that they can at least compete for the rest of the last game of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think they can win that game. Cowboys might come out swinging though. There might be some final spots on the line. Maybe that top 2 that they want to push into, depending on what happens with the Raiders this week. But I think the Eels can go with them. I think the Eels might be able to get the W there. It's just disappointing they couldn't get it tonight, and Matt Vaughan makes an error.
Yeah, I was about to say, the Eels want to hope they don't concede there, because that would really put just the salt into the wound there. Considering they definitely, I'd say maybe 6 to 8 points they deserve to lose by, but I wouldn't necessarily say, definitely not by 3 tries with how good they have been for the majority of the game. But, yeah, it's going to be Seamus Wilson now with another run. He's been a workhorse. I know he's had a couple of errors, Seamus Wilson, but he's just been working his ass off. I reckon he'd be up towards 200 metres once again. Similar to last week when he got as a massive shot put on Luke Short. How often do you see that happen?
Yeah, no, not often. Luke Short doesn't usually get hit. It's usually him hitting. But, oh, well, he definitely hit there.
And the Manly Seagulls decided to just take 2 there, decided to round out this performance. The Manly Seagulls, we haven't talked much about them. Do you think they're disappointed about this game?
Oh, I don't think you can be when you win by 14 points, or possibly even more at this point. But I think there'll be a few moments in that game they won't be too happy with. I think Will Kay in particular, he'll be disappointed with his performance. I think overall Manly will be pretty annoyed at their complacency coming into this match. But yeah, other than that, you can't be too unhappy.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because the Manly Eels were up 24 points to 12, but, you know, Manly, they've gone on to score 26 unanswered points now. And counting, mind you, as Maverick Oldfield takes a hit up there. 4 minutes remaining. Don't expect much more to occur in this game. Maybe, you know, maybe one of these teams can get an extra try that might either make the Eels feel a little bit better or make them feel worse. We'll have to see. As it goes over to Malachi Booth, and he's wrapped up there, but we're not going to let him get any more space. After he scored a double in the second half, he's been very, you know, we said that he's been quiet, and then just like that, he just turns on. It's like he can hear us in the commentary box. That'll be 4th tackle. And Will Kay, that's a better kick. Looking for a 40-20, in fact.
It's on the full.
Oh
it's on the full.
Will Kay, he just can't get it right tonight. Manly are up by 14, but he has wobbly legs tonight, just kicking it out of the full. Looked good for a moment there, but it sailed beneath the commentary box here. And, well, there was only about a metre in it. But it still wasn't great, as maybe they can get one last try here for Eels as it goes over to Demando.
They definitely deserve one more try, the Eels. The scoreline isn't very reflective of this game.
Goes there to, I would have to agree there, as Butler plays it there. You know, the Eels, they've been in it for, I'd say, about 65 minutes. As he goes inside the Shannon Freebird looking for space. He gets wrapped up there for a 3rd tackle. Charlie Butler short ball there to Luke Shaw, but that was forward.
And there we go again. The Eels, I mean, they definitely had opportunities to win this game. I think that's just how the final 20 minutes have kind of gone for them. They've got down into the Manly 20, and then they've made an error of some sort. They certainly need to fix that part up if they're going to win against the Cowboys next week.
Yeah.
But overall, they've looked good.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I think their errors have been... I think both teams will be disappointed with errors. I think there's been a lot of errors in this game. I think most of the tries have been caused by... Although Manly's tries haven't really been. More just by lapse in concentration from the Eels. As this will likely be the last play here, and they might not even get to it. They won't get to it. Daniel Punch is happy to just end the game there. And, well, their winning streak goes out to 19. Wins on the trot, dating back to Season 2, Round 6. Undefeated across 2 whole seasons, plus the back end of Season 2. Jack, what were your thoughts on the game?
Look, I think there's a lot of positives for the Eels in this one. I think there's a lot of positives for Manly. I definitely think there's a lot of negatives for both teams as well. I think Eels will be a little bit hard done by the fact they lost by that much. They looked strong. Certainly more than 7th place team should be against Manly, but in the end, Manly just had way too much class.
Yeah, as we look at the time in possession as well as the error count, he was having 13 errors while only having 38% of the ball. I think that's an impressive count to only lose by 14 at.
Yeah, I find that kind of incredible. I didn't feel like they had that less of the ball. I would have actually said they had more of the ball, but I suppose not. Malachi Booth, God, ever since we called him out, he had a good game, eh?
Yeah, he really turned it on. Matthew Vaughan, probably a little bit disappointed with this game. 3 errors. Line break count. Most was 3 errors by any player. I'll say Dingo and Casey K for the most part were kept relatively quiet, but Daniel Punch, though, he had an incredible game starting off the bench. And the tackle count, Matt Harris, 25 tackles. Good count by him. So look at the Eels stats here. Blake Harris once again in a solid performance, and I think Charlie Butler also stood up when he was needed to.
Yeah, I think with Charlie Butler, he had a few issues with his kicking close to the line tonight, but other than that, he had a very good game. I think Seamus Wilson, you mentioned it earlier, absolute workhorse. He he did very well in his meterage tonight. He did play 80 minutes though, which I didn't actually expect. Overall, the Eels, they put together a pretty good performance, but
it just wasn't it tonight. As well, thank you, Jack Carl, once again for joining me in the box. I think it's about time we head out now. And keep on SRL TV for the next game on Simulation.